Tuesdays. My name's Alyssa Rowe, so I will be sharing tonight. So the story I'm going to be talking about tonight is my journey with healing cystic acne. The products I use and just my journey. At the end of the call tonight, if you have any questions or you know somebody that's suffering with cystic acne or frequent blemishes, you can reach out to me. I love helping people with their skincare. I know exactly what it's like to struggle. So, yeah. So, I was about 15 when I started developing acne on my face. At that time, I didn't really know about skincare products and diet and gut health. That stuff was just totally not on my radar. Um, and it was very frustrating. And what I turned to at the time was really heavy makeup. I'd wear a lot of foundation, a lot of concealer, and I learned to get really good at makeup, but not so much on healing my skin. I thought acne was something that happened to teenagers for a couple years and then just went away. And I was definitely wrong. I had it up until I was 20 years old. So for 5 years, I had very, very painful acne, like all over my chin, a little bit on my neck, the cheeks. If you suffer from it, you know. It's not just blemishes that you can like put a little bit of toothpaste on and go away. They're large and they're painful. It's even painful to sleep on your cheek. Even applying certain makeup, it would agitate my skin so badly. And then it became a self-esteem thing where I didn't like to be photographed without makeup on. It was really hard if I was having a bad breakout day. I really didn't want to go out in public. And it took a lot to heal it. So I actually at the time started doing all the salicylic acid products. So that was really big at the time. Using salicylic acid, and a lot of the products I was using were really harsh with chemicals. So what would happen is I would cleanse my skin or do the spot treatments. It would get rid of it for maybe a few days and then it would show up again. And I did that because I just thought, well, what else is there to do? Of course, there's the route of medication or going on different pills and things like that. I just didn't want to go that way. So I just kind of developed this normal habit of using harsh chemicals on my face, covering up with makeup and seeing what happened. And then one day, I think it was my 19th birthday, I was like what I thought at the time a real adult. And I thought, how do I still have this really painful acne all over my face? I'm an adult now and I'm not getting rid of it. So I was actually working at the time in and out of a pharmacy, and I worked in the cosmetic department. So I started to learn about topical skincare. So I started to learn like what products can combat acne. And I found some stuff that worked for me, but then I noticed other issues. And so where I'm going with this is a lot of the targeted acne products out there. Yes, they can get rid of your topical acne for a temporary amount of time and you have to continue using them. But they also cause issues in other places. So they can cause digestive problems or joint pain, like depending on the chemicals that are in those products. So I was finding I was really brain foggy, tired, and I wasn't really happy with my skin. I was using all these harsh chemical products and it would clear it up, but then my skin would get super dry or overly oily. And so I could never find a happy medium. So it was actually my mom who introduced me to Young Living. I don't know if my mom's on the call, maybe she is. And my mom really wanted me to use oils, but I was that kid whose mom did Young Living and I was like, I don't want to use her oily stuff. I just thought it was like something that her and her friends did and I didn't honestly see how it could benefit me. I was a little stubborn, but she said just put some oils on the spots and see how they worked. So I started putting on frankincense and lavender just on the spots. And I wasn't happy about it because I was taught if you have oily skin, don't put oil on your oily skin because it'll just irritate it. But essential oils are so different than just regular carrier oil or oil-based products. So I noticed that right away it was absorbing into my skin, so it didn't feel greasy or anything like that. And I actually would do it at night, and I noticed like they were disappearing. And not only were they disappearing, but my skin around the acne was actually soothing. So I said, okay, your stuff worked a little bit. Okay, I'll try it once in a while. And then I just started seeing benefits with the oils in general. And then I thought, you know what? This is something I really want to tackle. So I will actually share some of the recipes that I used, and you're welcome to screenshot. And this recipe has changed over time, but I should preface at the time when I started Young Living, I didn't have a ton of money to spend on oils and products. I was in college. I was on a very tight income. I was not doing the Young Living business, so I didn't have any residual income coming in. I just was looking to fix my skin. So I got rid of all of my harsh chemical skincare, like all of it. Overnight, I just started getting rid of it, and I was going to start fresh. So this is the cleanser I used. And again, this is very basic. I know there's tons of recipes out there now. And especially we do have skincare lines for acne, but at the time we didn't have that. So the cleanser I used, this is actually a really great pump container. It's a foaming pump. So I just added Castile soap, a quarter cup. I did 10 to 15 drops of lavender and 10 to 15 drops of frankincense, and then distilled water. And I would just shake it up, and then I would wash day and night. And I didn't use anything else except a toner. I didn't actually use any moisturizer because, again, I was on a budget and I just wanted to tackle the acne. So I started doing this, and honestly, there's no kind of relief like when you have been suffering with pain on your face and just so self-conscious about your skin, and then feeling like relief. So it was clearing up, and my skin was like turning over as well, because lavender is super soothing for redness. I apologize, the dog is scratching. Come here, Mai. So it was really a relief to me. And then for toner, I just used witch hazel. So I would just use unscented organic witch hazel just on the skin. And that was more just to control the oil. However, some nights I would skip it, and I just found the cleanser alone did wonders for my skin. Now, if you're going to use toner, this is something I learned from beauty school way down the road, to actually not use those cotton pads, because they can have a lot of chemicals in them to bleach the cotton, and it can be agitating to irritated skin like what I had. So I would use reusable pads, the organic cotton that wasn't bleached, or I would actually just use clean hands and apply the toner. And so that is what I did this was my skincare routine for a good 3 to 5 years. I really didn't dabble into the Young Living like pre-formulated skincare until later. So this is super budget friendly, and it just worked wonders for me. And people ask me if they can substitute the frankincense. If you don't have really inflamed skin, you could try Elemi, which is a cousin to frankincense. But I would say if you're struggling, it's such a great investment. And this bottle goes such a long way with the 15 drops. And then some other things I did. So I didn't just treat it topically. Acne is also a gut related thing. So it doesn't just help to just put oils on. I mean, it can clear it up. It does work wonders. But if you want to really tackle the acne and not have to constantly be dependent on your skincare, here are some other things that I did. Oops, let me go back. So I did use some supplements, but I will be honest, I am not consistent with supplements. I forget to take them. I am really bad about like, I will probably when I'm older and have to take more multivitamins, have a timer or a calendar or something, because I would forget. And the reason I'm telling you that is because if you do start supplements and forget, it's not going to throw off your whole skincare. If you're using oils and you're detoxifying, you're going to notice differences. So these were the 3 supplements I used throughout my journey while I was healing my skin. Ningxia Red, like if I didn't use anything else, Milo, I'm so sorry, guys. He thinks it's the animals and oils class. I'm just going to grab him for a second. Come, buddy. You want to sit on my lap? Sorry. So Ningxia Red, I would say, is like one of the best supplements if you don't take anything else because it's whole food nutrition. Another one I took, this is an American supplement, so you can get it on NFR. It's called Detoxime. Unfortunately, right now it is out of stock, but when it does come back in stock, it's a really great digestive supplement. And I was looking just to detox whatever was going on in my gut. And then I also implemented Super B. But again, I don't only accredit my skin healing to my supplements because I wasn't very consistent. The most consistent I was is with Ningxia Red, but these are some great ones to throw in to add. And then I did change up my diet. So I was vegetarian since I was about 13. I just decided to do that. And I loved dairy. And I know that some people are able to heal their skin and still drink dairy. It just wasn't something that worked for me. So I started going on more of a whole food leafy greens diet, plant-based. So I am fully plant-based, but I really avoid processed foods. I find snacks or anything infused with added sugars or just anything with a lot of salt even. I found what I was doing before when I was in active acne was I was snacking a lot because I was hungry. I wasn't creating whole food meals. So that's really important because if you're working long hours, what do? You go grab a snack and you're going to want something sweet or salty. So that can off balance the pH in your skin, and that can also contribute. So what I would say is if you don't follow the regime that I did, I would say do a food journal and watch what you eat and then watch how your skin reacts. It's going to tell you a ton about what you're sensitive to. So for me, it was definitely dairy that agitated my skin. So that's something I still today don't consume. But eventually, after I healed my gut issues, I was able to go back to a little bit of sugar, a little bit of gluten and things like that, but I still do limit it. So the reason I share the diet part is because some people use the oils and it'll do the same thing. It'll clear up the skin. And be all good to go, but then it'll come back a month later. And you don't want that. You want to be able to not rely on your skincare so heavily. You want to have that freedom to eat what you want. And, if you skip one night of cleansing or supplements, it shouldn't wreak havoc on your body. So it's really important to look into diet as well. And then increased hydration, super important. When I was in college, everybody was really into lattes and Tim Hortons. And now, as a teacher myself, I see my students love water. Like it's a cool thing to have a water bottle. And I'm so happy to see that because I think my generation, especially of young women that suffer from hormonal cystic acne, would have benefited more from having more hydration for sure. So always having water nearby is key. So a little bit of everything, but if you're just looking to get started, I would highly recommend that cleanser. It's changed my life. And I do use Young Living Bloom line now. When I was in active cystic acne, I would not be able to use Bloom because it's so moisturizing. So just being able to put on a moisturizing cleanser now and have relief is so, like, I can't even tell you how relieving it is for me. So yeah, that is my story recovering from cystic acne. So I hope that was helpful to some people. If you know anyone suffering, there is an end in sight. It just takes a little bit of tweaking. So yeah, so if anyone has any questions, we can open up for the last little bit. I don't know if anyone has any. There's a chat box here. Okay. No questions? Do you think adding multigreens to the diet would help as well? I have a 16-year-old that it's hard to control the diet. Yeah, absolutely. Multigreens is a fantastic supplement. So I think that would be wonderful. If diet is hard, I mean, I remember being a teenager and like, mom cooks dinner and sometimes it's not always what you want to eat. And sometimes you can't even get enough from your food. So multigreens would be great. I would also suggest Ningxia Red. And if your teens aren't a fan of the taste, you can put it in orange juice. But if you're going to do any juices, just look for very low sugar. If you can even get just raw orange juice, that's the best. So yeah, I would recommend that. Oh, that's great. Yes, definitely pass this recipe along. The thing I love about the cleanser recipe is that it has lavender and frankincense, which is in the starter kit. So literally anyone that has a starter kit could make this. It's not something you have to go out of the kit and find all the oils. Same with the toner, like witch hazel is so inexpensive. And that's another thing I love about this regimen is it is budget friendly for people who are young dealing with skincare, do not have $300 to drop on a, over the counter custom skincare line. I totally get it. So yeah, I would recommend that. And then somebody asked me last time I talked about this about hormones. And I would say hormone support is key. If you missed Laura's Tuesday talk, she talks all about progestins. So we do have a recording of that. That is a great one to use with hormone balancing. At the time, I wasn't very versed in hormone oil, so it wasn't something I used, but I do wonder if I went back and used progestins and clary sage, if it would have even healed it faster. Have you heard of testimonials about the acne treatment? Yes. Um, yes. So actually one of my members, because the acne treatment is really new. It only came out a few years ago and I started my journey a long time before that. My member who has cystic acne has used the acne treatment, the one in the little blue label, and has had such great results with it. So again, Young Living is always coming out with new products. Even the Orange Blossom line, that is something I would have loved at the time. I like the Thayer's Rose Witch Hazel. Okay, that's awesome. I like Thayer's too. I personally use the unscented one just because I'm scared about my skin. My skin's super sensitive even today. Like it's very thin. So I'm cautious about like any additives and stuff. So I'd use the unscented, but Thayer's brand I really enjoy. That's a great brand. Yes, I did mean to type 10 to 15 of frankincense. So it is 10 to 15 drops of lavender and 10 to 15 drops of frankincense. So you can do it based on the bottle. So I used a 16-ounce glass foaming bottle, but if you did something smaller, then you could decrease your drops. And again, these aren't like hard and fast rules. You could definitely change up the drops depending on what works for you.
Would you recommend Copaiba as well? Because I know compliantly we're not supposed to say this, but it does have anti-inflammatory benefits.
Yeah, so Copaiba is a great one to add. Actually, so this recipe I made long time ago. I don't even think at the time, if my mom is on, I think I saw her on, we didn't have Copaiba in our starter kits. So it wasn't even on our radar, but yeah, Copaiba is awesome. If you're not a fan of lavender, I know there's some people who don't like the smell. I would sub for Copaiba. It's very gentle. I've actually used it for sunburns as well. So I can only imagine how soothing it would be for cystic acne. That's a great recommendation. I've been dealing with hormonal pregnancy acne, and ICP has been incredible. Yes. So ICP is another supplement. Again, didn't know about it at the time, but there are so many options in Young Living for gut health and healing your skin. So again, skincare is really not just a topical thing, it is also internal as well. Are you able to wear makeup now on your face without it bothering you? Yeah, so I'm actually makeup free. So I don't know if you can see. So I still have a little bit of redness like on my cheeks, But yeah, I would never in a million years back in the day be able to do this. Even with makeup, you would be able to see like the spots. So I went makeup free today to show my skin, but I am able to wear Savvy. I only wear Savvy Minerals. It's the only makeup that doesn't irritate my skin. But yeah, I try to go makeup free as possible because when your pores are clogged, it also makes your skin unhappy. Yeah. Oh, okay. Okay. So my mom confirmed at the time we didn't have copaiba. So that's probably why. But copaiba is a great suggestion, especially if you don't like lavender. All righty. So if there's no other questions, I want to thank everyone for being on tonight. I hope the recipe is helpful for somebody that you know, or if you're here tonight because you suffer with skincare issues, you know, there is an end in sight. I remember feeling even when I started the cleanser, I'm like, oh, but I still have acne, but it takes some time. I always recommend giving yourself at least 60 days to try anything, whether it's a supplement, whether it is an oil. Give your body 60 days to adapt and adjust so that you can actually see results. And the way I like to think of this is if the acne took a long time to come onto your skin, it's not going to go in a day. It's not going to go in a month. It's not even going to go in 6 months. You have to really heal the gut and the skin to see those results. My husband has a cystic pimple and he used Melrose and it helped heal it in 3 days. Wow, that's amazing. I actually have Melrose here. It was a promo oil, I think, last month, right? Yeah, Melrose is really good as well. And I mentioned another oil, Elemi. I don't know if someone can type it in the chat, Elemi. Elemi is known as poor man's frankincense. That's its kind of nickname, but it's a plant that's very similar to frankincense. So if someone is really, really, really on a small budget and frankincense is just not in the budget at that time, Elemi is also great. There's been months where I've been out of frankincense and I've subbed with Elemi and it's also really awesome. Yeah. Alrighty, I think we are good to go. So thank you guys again. Loved being here tonight. And if you enjoy these little talks, we do them every single Tuesday at 7:30 Eastern Standard Time. They're open to anyone. So we'll pop on next week. And next week, Marie, you'll be speaking.
Yay! I'll be
What topic? Do you want to tell them the topic?
Sure. Thank you for that great evening again. Next week, I'm going to be talking about anxiety and peeling products.
Love it.
Yeah.
So definitely don't miss next week. And we'll be here every Tuesday with a new topic. All right.
You.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Alyssa. Good night.